Pretend, just for a moment, that you have attained your most deep-seated desire. Not the simple, sensible one you tell your friends about, but the dream that's so close to your heart that even as a child you hesitated to speak it out loud. Imagine, for example, that you had always yearned to be a Greatcoat, one of the legendary sword-wielding magistrates who travelled from the lowliest village to the biggest city, ensuring that any man or woman, high or low, had recourse to the king's laws. A protector to many, maybe even a hero to some. You feel the thick leather coat of office around your shoulders, the deceptively light weight of its internal bone plates that shield you like armour, and the dozens of hidden pockets holding your tools and tricks and esoteric pills and potions. You grip the sword at your side, knowing that as a Greatcoat, you've been taught to fight when needed, given the training to take on any man in single combat. Now imagine you have attained this dream, in spite of all the improbabilities laid upon the world by the ill-intentioned actions of gods and saints alike. So you have become a Greatcoat. In fact, dream bigger. Pretend that you've been made first cantor of the Greatcoats, with your two best friends at your side. Now try to envision where you are, what you're seeing, what you're hearing, what wrong you are fighting to right. "They're fucking again," Brasti said. I forced my eyes open and took in a bleary view of the inn's hallway, an overly ornate, if dirty, corridor that reminded you that the world was probably a nice place once, but had now gone to rot. Kest, Brasti and I were guarding the hallway from the comfort of decaying chairs taken from the common room downstairs. Opposite us was a large oak door that led to Lord Tremondi's rented room. "Let it go, Brasti," I said. He gave me what was intended to be a withering look, though it wasn't very effective. Brasti's a little too handsome for anyone's good, including his own. Strong cheekbones and a wide mouth clothed in a reddish-blonde short beard amplify a smile that gets him out of most of the fights he talks his way into. His mastery of the bow gets him through the rest, but when he tries to stare you down, it just looks like he's pouting. "Let what go, pray tell?" he said. "The fact that you promised me the life of a hero when you tricked me into joining the Greatcoats, and instead I find myself impoverished, reviled, and forced to take lowly bodyguard work for travelling merchants? Or is it the fact that we're sitting here listening to our gracious benefactor, and I use the term loosely since he has yet to pay us a measly black copper, but that aside, that we're listening to him screw some woman for, what, the 5th time since supper? How does that fat slob even keep up? I mean—" "Could be herbs," Kest interrupted, stretching his muscles out again with the casual grace of a dancer. "Herbs?" Kest nodded. "And what would the so-called greatest swordsman in the world know about herbs?" "An apothecary sold me a concoction a few years ago. Supposed to keep your sword arms strong, even when you're half dead. I used it fighting off half a dozen assassins who were trying to kill a witness." "And did it work?" I asked. Kest shrugged. "Couldn't really tell. There were only 6 of them, after all, so it wasn't much of a test.